What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for MLB Sunday, April 25th.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon.
so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to go over my top DFS picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have an 11 game slate today, so let's take a look at the pitcher position. I like Brandon Woodruff pitching against the Chicago Cubs. Brandon Woodruff is only giving up a .502 OPS versus righties, and he's facing 6 righties here tonight. On top of that, the Cubs have only hit 15 of his last 99 pitches. That's a 152 batting average and a huge sample size. Brandon Woodruff is 9,300 FanDuel salary and 100 more on DraftKings, projected at 37.9 fantasy points, and he has an ERA of 1.96, record of 1-0 on the season, pitching an average of 86 pitches per game, averaging 38 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 46, 37, and 49 fantasy points in his last 3 games. So I like Brandon Woodruff here versus the Chicago Cubs. Okay, let's take a look at the catcher position. I like Salvador Perez with a 101% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Michael Fulmer. Salvador Perez bats 57% better versus righty pitchers, batting a 1.085 OPS versus righties. And Michael Fulmer throws his worst ball by far to righty batters, 45% worse than his other pitches, giving up a 1.086 OPS versus righties. On top of that, Salvador Perez is 6 for 19 with a .316 batting average and a 1.139 OPS versus Fulmer. 3 of those 6 hits are for home runs. He's only 3,300 FanDuel salary and he's 2,300 more on DraftKings. Projected at 10.8 fantasy points, he's averaged 11 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 0, 3, and 10 fantasy points in his last 3 games. So I like Salvador Perez here versus Michael Fulmer.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching.
If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal,
All you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won.
and then we'll send you $100 PayPal.
So it's that easy.
And we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video.
So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. I like Whit Merrifield with a 22% batting advantage over that same low salary pitcher, Michael Fulmer. Whit Merrifield is batting a .695 OPS versus righties, and we know Michael Fulmer throws his worst ball versus righty batters, giving up a 1.086 OPS versus righties. Whit Merrifield is 10 for 23 with a .435 batting average and a 1.131 OPS versus Fulmer. He's 3,500 FanDuel salary and 2,000 more on DraftKings. Projected at 10.7 fantasy points, he's averaged 13 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 0, 19, and 3 fantasy points in his last 3 games. So I like Whit Merrifield here versus Michael Fulmer. Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. I like Colin Moran with a 67% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Matt Shoemaker. Colin Moran bats 26% better versus righty pitchers he's batting a .867 OPS versus righties. And Matt Shoemaker throws his worst ball by far to lefty batters, 41% worse than his other pitches, giving up a 1.161 OPS versus lefties. Colin Moran is 1 for 3 with a .333 batting average and a .666 OPS versus Shoemaker. He's $3,200 FanDuel salary and $1,600 more on DraftKings. Projected at 10.4 fantasy points here tonight. He's averaged 10 fantasy points per game of the season, and he scored 0, 0, and 7 fantasy points in his last 3 games. So I like Colin Moran here versus Matt Shoemaker.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to DraftDashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the position optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new player trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, who do we have at the shortstop position? Feel like I'm always giving out this pick, but I like Xander Bogaerts with a 46% batting advantage over a low-salary pitcher, Nick Margevicius. Xander Bogaerts is batting 18% better versus lefty pitchers. He's batting a 1.044 OPS versus lefties. And Nick doesn't pitch all that well versus righties, giving up a .791 OPS versus righties. Xander Bogaerts is $3,400 FanDuel salary. He's $2,400 more on DraftKings, projected at 11.1 fantasy points. He's averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 3, 29, and 3 fantasy points in his last 3 games. So I like Xander Bogaerts here versus Nick Margevicius. Okay, moving on to the outfield position. I like Michael Brantley with a 41% batting advantage over Dylan Bundy. Michael Brantley is batting 26% better versus righty pitchers, batting a 1.005 OPS versus righties. And Dylan Bundy doesn't pitch that well versus lefties, 15% worse than his pitch to righties, giving up a .701 OPS versus lefties. Michael Brantley is 3 for 8, batting a .375 batting average and a 1.069 OPS versus Bundy. He's $3,200 FanDuel salary, and he's $1,900 more on DraftKings. Projected at 10.8 fantasy points here tonight. He's averaged 11 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 34, 3, and 12 fantasy points in his last 3 games. So I like Michael Brantley here versus Dylan Bundy.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video, or just go to DraftDashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.